All right, just so everybody knows, we record our sessions. And I'm going to start recording. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Community Board 12 full board meeting. And we are getting started at 7:07. So we're going to move right across the agenda. First up, we're going to start with our public gallery sessions. And please note that each individual organization will be giving 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes to speak, 30 seconds to review next steps or any follow-up questions. Once the public gallery session is closed, there will be no further comments from the public. You're welcome to stay until we go into executive session, and you're also welcome to connect with us via the chat tab after the public gallery session has closed. And first up, we're going to start with Wendy Wilson, and she's with the United Federation Teachers Dollar Teacher Program. Are you with us, Wendy?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everyone. My name is Wendy Walker Wilson. I'm the field coordinator for Dollar Teacher. Dollar Teacher is a free homework assistance program that is open Monday through Thursday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Our number is 212-777-3380. We are a collaboration between the United Federation of Teachers, the Teachers Union, the Department of Education, and the state, which supplies our grant funding. We service children kindergarten through 12th grade in all core subjects in 9 different languages: Armenian, Bengali, Chinese, French, Haitian Creole, Russian, Spanish, and Telugu. We are only open during school days when schools are in sessions. We are not open during the vacations. And I also provide 1 workshop per school per year for parents. Those workshops are free, and I assist parents and show them how they can help their students with homework. Again, it's Dial a Teacher. Our phone number is 212-777-3380. My email is wwilson@uft.org. I will put all that information in the chat for you.
Hey,
Thank you
Wendy.
so
Hey,
much.
Wendy. Hey, Wendy. It's Anthony Reed. What's going on?
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
Thank
Getting
you,
better, getting
Wendy.
better,
Thank you for
getting
joining
better.
us. Thank you, Anthony. And yeah, just please make sure you put information in the chat. Next up, Ms. Granby.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair. I come to the board to speak against the bike lanes on White Plains Road, a commercial zone street. Unfortunately, the Department of Transportation was less than truthful when they presented this project to this board, therefore influencing Community Board 12 to vote in favor of the bike lanes on White Plains Road. The bike lanes on White Plains Road are not a community enhancement. Rather, they are a deterrent for business, causes delays for bus transportation, parking confusion, and they are a safety hazard for the response time of emergency service vehicles such as police, fire, and EMS. Please understand, the merchants on White Plains Road are in favor of everybody improving the quality of their lives, but we are not in favor of the bike lanes on this commercial zone street. Presently, there are bike lanes both on Bronxwood Avenue and the Bronxville Parkway, which can and do serve the purposes for cyclists traveling in our community. I respectfully ask the Community Board number 12 to rescind their decision to support the bike lanes on White Plains Road and to write letters to the New York City Department of Transportation, the Bronx Borough President's Office, and New York City Council to withdraw their support of this project and to request the restoration of White Plains Road to the street that does not have bike lanes. Also, Madam Chair, where can we find a list of all the community board members? And then my other question is it your policy that all community board members have their cameras on? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Granby. So you can find that on our website. If one of my executive officers can put that link on the chat so that everyone can see, it's on our website under board members. And your second question, we're still under the hybrid mandate, which doesn't mandate all to be on camera. Once that expires at the end of June, I believe it's June 22nd, then we will be. Thank you for your time. Next up, we have Shantae.
Hi, good evening, everyone. You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Shantae Albright. I'm the library manager for the Wakefield Library, and I just want to provide some quick updates. Um, Next Wednesday, May 31st, we having a teen center celebration for teens. Our teen center considered as a safe place for the teens, for the community, and provide academic information like college and career pathways, and then also providing technology programs as well. Second update I want to provide is June 9th, we're having a resource fair, and we're collaborating with the New York Immigration Collision Organization. So any asylum seekers or immigrant families or anybody from the Wakefield community, we're gonna have different organization tabling at this event. And then lastly, the library is going through budget cuts, so 36.2 million. So right now the libraries are doing advocacy. So we having everyone from every community do a letter campaign, sign a letter either in your local library, or you could go online and fill out a form from there. But I will provide my information and the links to where you can sign for the advocacy for the library. Thank you.
Thank you, Shantae. Have you connected with Ms. Claude? She's the chair of our Cultural and Libraries Committee. And
No,
that,
I haven't. I could reach out to her.
yeah, put your information in the chat. She's here. And
Okay.
that meeting comes up the first Monday of the month.
Okay, thank
Thank you. Next up, Stephanie Rojas. You're on mute, Stephanie.
I pressed the wrong button. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Stephanie Rojas. I am the library manager for the Eastchester branch. And I also wanted to provide a few updates for events that are happening at my location. So summer learning is full swing at the libraries. So we are having a kickoff event on June 24th, which will include New Canine Nature Center. They will come and bring animals to the library and learn, and the kids will learn about their habitat, and different things and different ways that we can support children during the summertime. We also have chess for kids every Tuesday at 4 p.m. And we also have an author talk coming up on June 12th with Marjorie Carter. She is the author of Reclaiming Your Community. And she will speak a little bit about how she wrote the book and the different elements that are part of the book. And my last point will be on, we have a hip hop event, major event, and a collaboration with the Wakefield Library, which Shantae it's also part of. So it's the Wakefield Library, Baychester Library. We are all celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And so that program will be on June 8th, sorry, from 1 to 4. So we welcome the community to participate. We will have artists, we'll have different giveaways, we will have graffiti artists as well, and we'll have live music. So it's all about celebrating hip hop. And I just wanted to end by just reiterating that the libraries are facing a huge budget cut, and that will mean that if that budget goes through, then we will not be able to support the community as much as we want to with all the events that we so greatly do for the community. So please support us. I will put the link as well there on the chat, and I'll put my contact information in case anyone wants to reach out.
Thank you. I advise that you connect with Ms. Claude as well.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you. Next up, Joe and Angel.
Hi, my name is Joe. What Eris Granby said about the bike lanes is definitely the truth. And they had no right to put them in there without consulting with us or even coming around and talk to us about what's going on and stuff like that. I mean, why don't they come now and ask us what we think of the bike lanes? Are they afraid they'll get the wrong answers that they don't want to hear and stuff like that? But they should reevaluate the whole system because it's definitely caused more problems for business and it's not safe at all because you have to get in and out of your car in the middle of the street. And if you're handicapped, it's worse and stuff like that. They should definitely reevaluate this and they should come around and ask the business people what actually did. They misled us all. They never said about taking away spaces. They never said about anything and stuff like that. So the important thing is I think they reevaluate this and they come around and actually have a talk with us and we'll discuss what the problems are and stuff like that. Just don't dump it on us and then leave us like that. That's not the correct thing to do. We're businesses and we're trying to survive over here and stuff like that. And this has definitely killed business. I mean, the COVID killed a lot of it. And then this just is not helping. So thank you.
Thank you, Joe and Angel. Next up, we have Mary.
Yes, I'm Mary O'Riordan. My family's business is industrial door and glass and MGM Glass and Mirror across the street next to Joey, between 238th and 239th Streets. I wanted to share with you a conversation I had with a friend recently about my father, who died about 8 years ago. And I was saying to the friend that I felt bad that my father spent so much of his life on White Plains Road. Because to me, White Plains Road is a noisy place. It's dark, it can be dirty. There's graffiti. There certainly was when I was growing up there. And my friend who owns a drugstore said, Mary, your father loved White Plains Road. I'm like, what? He had never even met my father. But he said, that was his ticket to get, he had come to this country, very poor, very little education, little family. And he saved his money and he bought a business on White Plains Road. He began with one business and then he expanded and, now there are about 25 employees, but many have come through, started their own businesses. He really did love White Plains Road. He went there 6 days a week, 12, 13 hours a day. And, the mayor talks about how important the rungs are to the ladder in the ladder of success. And we are cutting off these young business owners still in debt. We're cutting them off at the knees by by making it difficult for their customers to come to their stores. And in terms of many people are saying that they weren't consulted, or I talked to people and I've heard over and over that the Department of Transportation said this is what the mayor wants. There's no point in talking about it. Well, I spoke with Alina Dow, who is here, I believe, and she said to me, it's not necessarily what the mayor wants. This was the plan of the previous administration. Our current mayor is very down to earth. He values community input. He's in touch with reality. And this is a disaster. This is out of touch. And it just to communicate how out of touch the Department of Transportation is, they came and talked to Joey and my brother a few weeks ago about a loading zone.
Okay,
And if
Mary, your
anyone-
time is up. We appreciate you. Can you put your information in the chat? Alina from the mayor's office is here. Maybe Alina, you can put your information there for Mary to follow up with you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think she has my information, but I definitely will have a
Thank
conversation.
you. Thank you,
Yes.
Alina. Thank you, Mary.
I do.
Okay, next
Thank
up, Stephen Robles.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Stephen Robles, and I work for Bronx Independent Living Services. We are the independent living center that services the Bronx borough. And our main purpose is to assist and serve people with disabilities and their families with resources and information and provide support for, their needs. I'm not sure how many of you either have a disability or know someone, but it's a very underserved community, and we can use a lot of support as people with disabilities. So not many people know that we're available. My specific department assists people with disabilities that is going through the vocational process to try to find a job or extra schooling. And we assist those individuals with supportive services and other needs based off of their specific situation. And I just wanted to share it with you all. I will put my information in the chat if you would like any more information, or if you know someone in the community that could use our assistance, or if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Stephen. Next up, we have Q. Q, are you with us?
Hello. Yes, I am, Madam
Okay.
Chair. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. I just wanted to echo what some of my fellow business owners on White Plains Road stated in terms of the bike lanes. I first wanted to address the community board. Sorry, I'm traveling. I'm heading to JFK right now. In terms of stating that I don't think anyone is angry or upset with the community board. I think we're just more upset about what's been happening, to our area in terms of things that have been changing. And for me personally, I'm going to be a part of the community board. Ms. Benitez, a few months ago, said something very important. She said people come to the community board, they get what they want, and then they never return, or they don't get what they want and they get upset, and then they don't return. But I was part of a meeting with Mr. Alfredo earlier this week on community safety. Ms. Tolene Dickerson had an amazing meeting on education, which I would really love to be a part of. And I just want us to kind of work together to get this done. I want the community board to be on the right side of history. Yesterday, I literally looked at my building and I was standing in front of it. And if everyone parked perfectly, 100% enforcement, and God forbid it caught on fire, the FDNY would not be able to put that fire out and lives would be lost. So yeah, we'll lose money, but we don't want to lose any lives. So let's just work together. We've been putting pressure on our city council, working closely with Mr. Kevin Riley. I went to the senator's office. I went to assembly speaker, and we're just trying. So I want everyone to know that this is a collaborative effort, and whatever we could do to help is great. And I just want to echo Ms. Granby as well, stating that we would really like for that, motion to rescind the approval, because the Department of Transportation is now putting it on the community board. I think my time is done. So thank you guys so much, and I'll be listening in. Thank you.
Thank you, Q. Next up, we have Judy.
Hi, good evening, Madam Chair. Thank you for having me up. Good evening, everyone. I'm with the East 222nd Street Block Association, and I wanted to talk about the noise on White Plains Road as far as music coming from the different businesses. I find that this really is a detriment to White Plains Road. Personally, I don't shop on White Plains Road because how dirty it is, and also because of the music blasting from many stores. One day I walked from 222nd to 223rd, and as soon as I hit 223rd, the first store had the speaker outside blasting, and then a few feet, it was another store with music blasting, and it was like you were in a madhouse. I don't understand why businesses feel they should be able to do that. Now we have a problem that there's a store that's inside of 222nd Street. From White Plains Road, they have a few stores. It's a restaurant. And they have the nerve to put a speaker out there in the daytime, blasting. It's coming across to the houses because it's a residential street. And people, as you know, a lot of people work from home. The police had to be called several times. 311 is called several times to complain about this. Isn't there some kind of rule or something that businesses should not be blasting their music? Why do they feel that they should be able to put speakers on and do that? Who can we talk to make sure that this is not happening? And I'm done speaking. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Judy. Ursula, any feedback on that?
Hey Judy, how you doing? Send me an email or call me tomorrow and I'll take care of it. I need the exact locations.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Urs.
Fredo had his hand up.
Alfredo, you still have your hands up?
No, I think Ursula's gonna take care of the situation with the noise, so.
Thank you, Alfredo. Okay. All right. Anyone else for our public gallery sessions? Gregory, is that your hand that I see up? Okay, you can unmute yourself. Go ahead, Gregory. You have to unmute yourself for us to hear you.
Good evening to everyone. How you doing? My name is Gregory Hawkins. I'm the business owner of CPR on White Plains Road, JIC CPR Plus. Miss Granby and Joe and Q kind of like summed up much of what I was going to say just as well as far as the bike lanes. They're a hazard. They're causing a real chaos there on White Plains Road. My customers are getting discouraged when they come. They can't find parking is already bad up there. And then on top of it, with this chaos, one park straight, one park on an angle, one park 45 degrees, everybody's parking how they want to park. So that causes even more of a chaos. Then they go around, they go around, they go around till they get frustrated, and then I lose a customer at that particular moment. Also, that's the problem here. When the department okay for them to put these e-bikes on the corners, that took away parking spaces. In front District 12, you have a rack for those bikes, and not one time have I seen those bikes over there. On the corner of 229th Street, they have a rack down to 226, 227, 228, down to Gun Hill Road, they have the racks, but the bikes don't wind up back in the racks. They thrown all over the streets. They left in front of businesses. I mean, this is really something that's really causing a problem. Like Ms. Granby said, the delay for response for the fire department, delay for the EMTs, that is a critical point there. Every 90 seconds, someone dies from cardiac arrest. The first 3 minutes is very vital. Now you move the response time to 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes, almost 7 minutes. That is chaos. That's chaos, totally chaos. We need to really, for the Department of Traffic Commissioner, they had got the okay to do this bike lane from I think 211, 212, just up to 226th Street. Now it goes all the way up to almost 241st Street. They got the okay to go to 226th Street, and then took it upon themselves to go further. That's not right. I mean, like Joe said, nobody never came around, spoke with the business owners to see how we would
Gregory, your time is up. We
Okay,
apologize. But
I
thank you for
appreciate it.
sharing. And just so you know, we have voiced those concerns with the Department of Transportation and the Commissioner. So thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Next up, we have Shantae.
Hi everyone, how you doing today? So I'm gonna piggyback off everyone what they're saying about the bike lanes and also what Gregory said about the e-bikes. I live in a community. I've been a part of the community for over 15 years. One of the unsafest things for my children is those bike lanes. A couple of weeks ago, one of my friends got hit by someone that was driving a motorized cycle that is unlicensed, utilizing the bike lane. She's still not able to walk correctly. She's in a lot of pain. She's bruised up. And then again, a minor child was hit by somebody riding in the bike lanes. This is something that the police department is aware of. This is something that I've written letters to the commissioner about. This is something that I've been to DOT about. This is something I've come to the community board about. And the last time I was here, I expressed myself to you guys and told you guys that I felt like I was being a ping pong. I was basically being pushed in multiple directions, and I'm being told to go here. DOT is saying to go here, but there's no resolutions. In terms of the e-bikes are very unsafe because I'm seeing a bunch of e-bikes in front of my house. And what's happening nowadays is e-bikes are getting caught on fire. So who's responsible for collecting these e-bikes when they're just tossed in front of people's home, tossed in front of people's businesses? What can we do about this? Like, what roads do we take? I hear people saying that we're doing something about it. I hear everyone saying that this is what's happening, but I'm not seeing anything done. So what else can we do as a collaborative? This is all I have to say.
Thank you, Shantae. Luke Sabados put some information for you in the chat. Thank you so much. Ted, you have a comment? Or Ursula? Let me go with Ursula first.
No, I was gonna answer her, but if Luke gave it to her, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you, Ted.
Hi, good evening. As a board member, I don't really want to take up the time from the public gallery, but I just wanted to underscore what most of the people have said, that this is our community, and we have to be able to do something about this, because on a daily basis we're seeing scooters, the e-bikes, they're just being left all over the place, in the street, on the sidewalk, in front of homes, businesses. And as a resident of this community for over 30 years, I'm not happy about it. And we definitely need to be able to do something about this in order to get our community back and to take our streets back, and not to have to, I mean, the bikes are one problem. The lanes are another problem, but we need to be able to keep our community clean and don't have all these bikes and scooters thrown all over the place, which are creating lots of hazards. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Okay, I think that concludes, I don't see any other hands raised. So I think that concludes our public gallery sessions. Simone, is your hand up?
It is. I'm sorry.
Joe, give me 1 second. Joe and Angel, apologies, but we already had your 3 minutes and we do have to move on. You're welcome to continue to write in the chat or join our next meeting or our next committee meeting. Thank you. Simone, please go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to quickly chime in on the bikes, just because I'm coming from the perspective of someone that utilizes it. My husband actually uses the bikes every morning to go to get to the Metro North. So I do think it is a good resource that I do not want to see removed from the community. But I do feel like the city, as they charge the bikes, they should be placing the bikes back to the designated parking spots, because I think that is useful. So I just want to call that out. So I know the purpose of the bikes is it's community sharing, so people park it. We should be advised to park it in a place that is not impeding a doorway or blocking anyone's entrance. But I just want to advocate in favor of the bikes, because I do think it is a great benefit for our community.
Thank you, Simone. And just to let everybody know, we are working on trying to get our elected officials, those that are, that Department of Transportation Commissioner and others, to our next committee meeting. We're hoping to get them there so we can have another conversation. So that concludes our public gallery session. And now we're going to close that part of the section, and we're going to go with a presentation with Patrick. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, Patrick, and just let us know who you're with.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen real quick while I got the grant access. Are you able to grant me access to share my screen, or is that possible? Sorry, you're on mute.
You're able to. Just try to share.
Okay, there we go.
Not seeing it.
For some reason, it's not letting me do it.
See.
Okay, well, I'll do my best to present while
Let me see. Hold on a second.
while you can't see the screen, but
Make a
just basically give
presenter.
myself a brief introduction. My name is Patrick Downer.
Patrick, give me 1 sec.
Yes.
I want you to try now.
Still says grant access.
Yeah, I made you a presenter.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna call right back in to see if that works.
Okay. We're going to give him 1 second.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Benitez. Board members, we need you to stay on.
Okay, everybody. Let me share this real quick. I'm back. Again, my name is Patrick. I'm a part of the, can you see the screen, everybody?
Yes.
So my name is Patrick. I'm part of the Mashudu Preservation Corporation, and we are a local nonprofit that is helping out North Bronx communities within Jerome Glenhill Bid area, Norwood area, and we recently received a grant to help out the Wakefield area. And just to piggyback off of what everybody's saying, which we know is a main issue, is the bike lanes. And I've talked to Q, I've talked to different merchants. That is in this as well, where the data shows. So just to get a quick agenda, we're going over neighborhood context, key takeaways, business inventory, storefront conditions, streetscape conditions, merchant and consumer surveys, and then strength, challenge, and opportunities. So as you know, the area of Wakefield is in the north section. On the left side of the screen, you can see the business corridor of White Plains Road, which MPC is going to be helping out in regards to the grant that we received. The grant that we did receive is the AV NYC grant. So this grant helps us basically get qualitative research data from the merchants, consumers, to help us realize what needs to be done in White Plains Road area, whether it's beautification, if we need to clean up some more graffitis, programming, more community events, as well as some parts of East 233rd. So some of the key takeaways that I've received from merchants and consumers is, I'll just go over a few of these, and I'm not going to read all the bullets just so we have the time frame for it. But for the second bullet, Wakefield's commercial corridor is in constant use and used mainly for convenience shopping, catering, and the needs of residents as well as local workers. As we all notice, I grew up in the Wakefield area. I currently live in Eastchester Road area. I went to high school at Truman. I have friends that was on White Plains Road area. So I've seen this area change and grow from many years ago. Another key thing that I want to say is residents and consumers will like healthier food options, coffee shops, art spaces, and more sit-down restaurants in the neighborhood. So through the programming with MPC, we're going to do our best to see how we can implement these programmings. Within the next 2 to 3 years, we have a grant that's going to be used for the merchants, whether it's, again, to build more community spaces, we're going to have more community events and different ideas. So out of the business inventories, as you should know, there are, out of 661 stores, majority of White Plains Road is built of beauty and hair salon, which is 132, as well as, so there are some restaurants, and I just want to make notice on the two different types of restaurants. We have limited service as well as full service. So there's only 16 full service restaurants and there's 58 limited service. I think this is a big thing. As we know, we want to make White Plains Road more of a shoppable area. I know people in the community board recently in this meeting just said they don't shop there, it's dirty, etc. Right? So how can we change this? How can we keep people in the area to sit down, last longer, and actually utilize and walk around White Plains Road? Because obviously White Plains Road is very accessible from train to driving, which is a big deal now because of the bike lanes. And also we have the Metro North and other bus options. So moving forward, White Plains Road has a vacancy of 11%. I know that number sounds high, but that's actually very low compared to other neighborhoods in the Bronx. So with the programming that MPC is going to provide, we are going to help try to bring down this vacancy, whether it's through more community events. As I mentioned before, talking to the merchants, we're going to go through some options of cleaning up the graffiti on the walls. I know that the graffiti on the walls are mostly tags, but through MPC and their program, we do have a option where we could create beautiful, colorful artwork on merchant gates. So that's going to be coming up within the next 2-3 years. Going forward, just to show you different pictures of White Plains Road currently as changes are made. These are just some storefronts that are closed down. As you can see, the graffitis, it's just tags, not really beautiful art. And we are here to try to change that. This goes for storefront conditions, and I know I'm moving fast. I know I have a limited amount of time. So again, if you need more of this information, I can send you this presentation to your email, just reach out to me. But the storefront conditions is based on small business services guidelines, and the rating is from 1 to 5, obviously 1 being poor, 5 being great conditions. From what I've seen, White Plains Road does have a good amount of good stores. Its higher percentage is 41%. Poor store ratings is at 32%. Average is 27, right? And through our programming, again, whether it's the awnings, we're going to try to fix up the awnings. We're going to try to add more artwork to White Plains Road. We are going to change these storefront conditions to make it more of a place, a destination for residents that are in the area to constantly shop there to keep that dollar circulating within White Plains Road. Just for example, in 233rd, these are some really good storefronts that I believe are beautiful that I took pictures of that show that if White Plains Road could follow this step and this guideline of these storefronts, it could be the process of a different business corridor for people to shop at. Streetscapes conditions. I've went around, looked at the streetscape conditions. Again, this is based off of SBS guidelines, and just I'm not going to go over these bullets, but from what I've noticed on the streetscape conditions, just for me, speaking for myself and just walking down from Gun Hill Road to 243rd. So basically, I believe that obviously we mentioned the garbage, organizing a garbage cleanup day on June 17th, just got in touch with Riley's office, going to go and talk to some of the schools and the principals in the area to see if their students need any volunteer hours to help me clean up as well. Also, I feel like we need to clean the streets in regards to power washing and also just better construction. I know I talked to Q about the bikes as well. One of the biggest things, and I know safety is a big thing as well. That bike lane, I think it's around the 219th area on Gold Star. It's bike lanes usually stay on the street. The bike lane actually gets onto the sidewalk in that area, and I've noticed that I've almost got hit. People almost got hit. So I actually was in contact, or my director was in contact with, I believe it was whoever is the owner of the MGM Glass. We talked about it. We were going to get in contact with DSNY. I know FDNY, the commissioners mentioned something about the bike lanes as well. So we're in the process of gathering, getting meetings for people to understand how we could make a difference and maybe stir the Department of Transportation's commissioner to basically help us figure this out. Just more pictures of White Plains Road where I help clean up tree pits. We know tree pits accumulate a lot of garbage. We need to stop that. I know that we talked to Riley's office about garbage cans. Obviously, garbage cans aren't pretty to see on the street, but we need them. I know most politicians nowadays, they want photo ops that are good for them, that's innovative and what's going to happen in the future. But if we talk more about these garbage cans and having them on the street, it's less likely to happen to have these garbage floating around these tree pits. The graffiti that I mentioned that we're going to help clean up over the next 2 to 3 years. And just from this is a merchant consumer survey findings. Merchants out of 136 merchants I surveyed, I went to most merchants. Obviously, they see your face. They are either receptive or not. But from whoever talked to me, I got to 136 merchants. Top challenges include lack of parking, which we all know it's a common occurrence, the bike lane. Crime and safety. So at nighttime, I know a lot of merchants lock their doors. And then low foot traffic, which deters from the bike lane and not people parking. And just lack of marketing knowledge and storefront improvements. A skip, sanitation, beautification, graffiti removal will help make the corridor more attractive and walkable for shoppers and residents. Again, yes.
I'm sorry,
Beatrice?
I accidentally hit that. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. So I know sanitation, beautification, and graffiti is going to be graffiti removal is going to be helpful. I know that today we had a call and they're not necessarily picking up a lot of garbage now, sanitation, because instead of double parking, it's more of a triple parking since the bike lane, the ergonomics of it is not really suitable for White Plains Road, especially on an elevated train line. So now that the sanitation is going past certain stops where they could pick up garbage, the garbage is piling up now, which is creating more of an eyesore for White Plains Road.
Thank you,
This is consumer
Patrick.
survey finding.
I'm sorry, but your 10 minutes are up and we did
Okay,
fit
that's
you
fine.
in. But can you share that presentation with us and make sure that we have your contact information?
Yeah, definitely. I'll send that over as well. Let me stop sharing.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you for giving me the time. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate your
And
participation.
I'll be here for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I'm trying to implement myself in the White Plains Road and just be a blessing to the Bronx and make some change. Thank you, y'all.
Thank you. Please add your information there and we'll be in contact. Okay, so that closes that portion of our agenda, the presentation. Next up on the agenda, we have our elected officials representatives report. If you can just raise your hand, any of our elected officials, representatives online that need a moment. Nanette, you're first.
I am unmuting myself. Let me know when you hear me.
Yes, we hear
Can
you.
you hear me?
Yes.
Amazing. Hi, everyone. I'm the district director for Congress member Richie Torres. Just a couple of
Nanette, you're
updates.
cutting
Our
up.
new office is open and has been so since February.
Nanette?
Yes? I'm
You
breaking
were
up?
cutting up. Yeah, you were
Go
cutting
to
up a bit. It came in
this
choppy.
and come back to me.
Okay.
Do you have me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, if it changes, then just feel free to mute me and go to the next person.
Got it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nanette. I'm the District Director for Congressman Torres. Our new office is open and has been so since February. For those that do not know, it's now 540 East Fordham Road, as we were redistricted out of our old office in Hunts Point. Some quick legislative updates. I know that fires have been brought up and safety, and we recognize that as an office. So Rep. Torres introduced legislation in an effort to prevent fires sparked by lithium-ion batteries. Lithium-ion battery explosions are now the third leading cause of fires in New York City after smoking and open flames. According to FDNY, although there are city regulations for the batteries in the works, a lot of people buy them online and not in person in the city. So federal regulations would be the most effective in ensuring that people are getting safe batteries. Hence why this bill was introduced. The bill would require Consumer Product Safety Commission to establish safety standards for the batteries and push Homeland Security and border agencies to keep substandard power packs from getting into the country. As far as reimagining the Cross Bronx Expressway, last year US DOT granted a $2 million grant to the city to conduct a study to reimagine the Cross Bronx Expressway. This was advocated for by Rep. Torres and Senator Schumer together with environmental groups around the Bronx. Now the city is having community input sessions to hear from the community what will be done to reduce the impact of gas emissions from the Cross Bronx and reconnect communities. I'm going to share that with you, Beatriz, the dates and stuff, so that you can share with all the members of the board and everybody on this meeting. And I will make this a little shorter because I feel like I've been talking and talking. Our office can assist with any federal issue you might have, amongst them being Social Security, passports, immigration, and issues with the IRS. We also take housing cases, given that it's a priority for the Congress member. If you have any issues, concerns, or comments, please feel free to call our office or email me directly. I'll include all that information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Nanette. And I just want to make an announcement. I'm kind of skimming through the chats and I see some attack on our board members. That is not allowed. I don't want to have to call out names, but this is not the forum for that. We're not your enemies. We're here to represent the board. We've had this discussion 1,000 times now. We're not going to allow that. That's toxic and abusive. Thank you. Next up, Alexis.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope that you're all doing well. I wanted to start off by saying Bronx Week was a great success. I hope that everyone was able to attend at least one event. If you were, thank you for coming out and sharing with all of your neighbors. I just wanted to touch some points. Reappointments are being sent via email, so they are not going to be sent snail mail. Please check your emails periodically. They should be sent by the end of this week. And we have a few events coming up, one being the Bronx Pride event on June 14th. I'm going to share that flyer with you, Mrs. Chair, if you don't mind. And if you're interested in attending, please reach out to me to RSVP. Thank you again, and I'll be on the call for the remainder of the meeting.
Thank you so much. Danella?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Danella with the Office of Assemblyman Jeffrey Dinowitz. Unfortunately, the Assemblyman cannot be here tonight, but he does send his hellos to everyone. We have a shred event coming up Sunday, June 11th, in front of our office at 3107 Kingsbridge Avenue. I will also put the information in the chat, and that's all I had for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Donella. Do we have any other representatives? Alina?
Yes, I'm here. Hello. Good evening, everyone. So I do have some information for everyone that don't know me. My name is Alina Dow. I am the Bronx Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs. I just want to let everyone know that I did hear your concerns. I was taking down notes. I've spoken to my commissioner about it. We will be working to see if we can get a walkthrough in the community. Mary spoke on it. I did speak with her before, and I made it clear that a lot of the things that are happening, I live on Gun Hill Road, and Gun Hill Road literally just turned into an entire bus lane. So I just want everyone to know a lot of these things had happened and were put in place before our mayor got into office. So obviously, one of the things that I want to just make sure everyone understands is that I do live in the communities, and I'm always in White Plains Road. So I know, and I am in the community with you. So I also too see and see some of the things that are happening, and it's very concerning as well. So there's other things that are happening, and I know and this is a big thing. We have a lot of asylum seekers coming in. I'm sure you guys are keeping up with the news, and the mayor is doing his very best to see how he can handle the situation. So please, we're just asking that you be patient and know that this is something that no one asked for, and we're all just in it together as New Yorkers. On the brighter side, we have the city's first civil engagement commission, the People's Money, and you're able to vote up until beginning on May 10th. The people are able to vote about the preparatory budgeting, and I think it's the first one ran by New York City Civil Engagement Commission. I'll add the link in the chat if there's anybody interested in voting, and I'm going to vote. I'm actually excited to be able to even vote on something like this. So. Also, I've been telling everyone and other boards that meetings that I've had to please share with your friends, share with anyone that if you're at a company and you work with people, to tell them to check for PEBT, which is for people who receive SNAP, with children who have Medicaid during COVID, they were able to get a food stamp stipend, and the money has been on some people's on some students' benefit cards. So we're just making sure, please tell family, friends, people in the community to go check and just see that another family just told us they had $300 and I think $12 sitting on the card, and they had no clue. So share information, please. There was a launch of a new program for the older New Yorkers who want to work, and the mayor announced that it's called they want to bring back about learning about civil court program for older New Yorkers that want to go back to work. I'll also put that information in the chat, but there's so much going on. Back to Gun Hill Road. I'm not sure if everybody's been back on that side of Gun Hill Road, but the Gun Hill Road they've kicked off the Gun Hill Road redesign kickoff, and there's a lot of squiggly white lines. That's only because I drive up and down Gun Hill Road every day to go home. Soon those lines will be replaced with the mediums, very similar to what's happened at the corner of White Plains Road and Gun Hill Road. You know how the bus actually goes in the middle of the road? That is something that's going to be similar to what's happening on Gun Hill Road. So in certain areas, there will be no parking, and it'll be a no standing zone, and buses will be picking people up in the middle, and cars will drive by in one direction. So I'm super excited to see how that works out. And as always, the mayor he has his own podcast. He's doing a lot of outreach to the community. Please sign up for his newsletter. I know that where the news doesn't always get to add that extra information about the good stuff that happens in the city. So if you're signed up to the mayor's newsletter or you're signed up to the podcast, at least then you'll be able to hear some good stuff that is happening in our city. And there is a lot of good things that are happening. There's one thing before I go, I do want to make sure that everyone is aware too, is that the mayor kicked off its Small Business Month. So please, the best way we can, I know that parking may be an issue, but if we can walk on White Plains Road like I do and support our small businesses, this is Small Business Month. And the mayor also did announce that he's making it a mandatory training for officers to learn how to work with people with disabilities, particular people with autism and autism spectrum. So as always, I make myself available to everyone. I'll put my information in the chat. Good to see everyone, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Alina. Next up, Cynthia. Cynthia, are you with us?
Yeah,
Okay,
can you hear me?
yes, now we can.
Sorry about that. I don't know why this happens to me every time.
Go ahead.
But good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Cynthia. I am the Constituent Services Director at Councilmember Kevin Riley's office. Just to go over the usual,
Our office is located at 940 East Gun Hill Road. Our phone number is 718-684-5509, and our email is district12@council.nyc.gov. For upcoming events, you can follow us at CM Kevin C. Riley on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. For upcoming events, we have Movies Under the Stars this weekend at Seton Falls Park on nearest Baychester Avenue and Crawford Avenue. That's going to be this Saturday, the 27th, and it'll be happening at sunset. So like right as the sun sets, then we can post up, have the display for the movies outside, free for families. And the showing will be for Jurassic World. On Saturday, we're going to be honoring our veterans with the American Legion in Co-op City at the Memorial Park at Ashloop and Bartow Avenue. That's going to be at 3 p.m. this Sunday, the 28th. I wanted to thank Community Board 12 and also to the Bronx Collab for letting us host mobile office hours in the community. And our next mobile office hours is going to be at Mind Builders on Wednesday, May 31st from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. On June 3rd, we're hosting a 5K run with the Northeast Bronx YMCA at 10 a.m. to be able to help support the Y and provide a safe space for families in the community. On June 6th, we're going to be partnering with the Real Dads Network for a basketball clinic at the Northeast Bronx YMCA, and that'll be at 6 p.m. And on June 9th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., we're going to be having a silent disco at the Gun Hill Road Playground on Magenta and Holland. And also, just to address everything that's been going on in the public gallery, Councilmember Riley will be issuing a statement both on the proposed project, not proposed project, more so the beginning of this project for the Gun Hill Road redesign, as well as the White Plains Road redesign that has happened. We had recently brought the DOT commissioner to the community, brought him to a number of sites throughout the community, and actually got to meet Ms. Granby and Q, just to be able to voice these concerns. We're going to continue to try and bring DOT to the table and make sure that these concerns get heard and that things can be meaningfully addressed and that safety does remain a priority. And it's about finding that balance and making sure that everyone is safe. So please do stay tuned for that, and thank you for bearing with us.
Thank you for sharing that, Cynthia. For all those that were a part of the gallery section, you heard that there are things that are being addressed. Thank you so much. Danella, did you still have your hand up?
No, I did that by accident. I'm sorry.
Okay. Tambir, you're next.
Hi, good evening, Community Board 12. My name is Tanbir Chowdhury. I am the District Director for Councilmember Eric Denowitz. It's nice to connect with you all today. Our usual CB12 rep and the council member could not be here because we have a lot of in-person events going on, including our Silent Disco event at Woodlawn Cemetery happening right now. Just a few quick updates. Our district office, which has been closed for renovation since February, it should be done very, very soon. It's in like that final stretch of just making sure everything's in order and like it's furnished and whatnot. So we're very excited to be opening that back up to people who would like to come visit. And we have parks events as well. You could follow us on at Eric Denowitz NYC on our social medias or sign up for our newsletter. But some of the parks events we have coming up. We have one on Thursday, June 1st. It's a skate party at Spite and Dival across the street from Seton Park. That's going to be from 5 to 7:30 p.m. And we also have Movies Under the Stars. We have one on June 7, Wednesday, in Sid Augerton Field. The movie is Luca, and we have one on Thursday, June 8. Thursday, June 8 at CM Park. It's Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And we have a lot more. We have skate parties and more Movies Under the Stars series throughout the summer. So be sure to follow us for more updates. And that's it from me.
Thank you. All right, so I don't see any other hands up from the elected officials representatives. So that concludes our portion of the reports. So now we'll move on to the next session. And before that, I just want to circle back, Patrick. We definitely want to invite you to present at our committee, the Economic Development. And we do want to give you time at our next one. This was kind of last minute, but we want to make sure we allot the proper time for you to present. So circle back with us. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Okay, so next up, So we're going to move on to our next section with this, which is your approval of board minutes for April 27th, it's general board meeting.
So we need a motion.
Yes.
So move.
Make the motion.
I second it.
Okay, Michelle, did you capture that? Michelle?
Sorry, I needed to unmute. Anthony Reed and Carl Stricker, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Benitez?
I'm here.
Hi.
Okay. Judith Benitez, aye. Denise Bond,
Aye.
Ivan Boraz. Ivan Boraz,
Aye.
Carla Basati,
Aye.
Michelle Bromfield,
Aye.
Victor Brown,
Aye.
Deacon Brown,
Aye.
Norbert Bryan,
Aye.
Desiree Campbell,
Aye.
Sadie Campbell,
Aye.
Joan Claude,
Aye.
Chris Devone,
Aye.
Colleen Dickerson,
Aye.
Kevin Eichelberger, Kevin Eichelberger, not present. Alfredo Figueroa,
Aye.
Johnny Goff is excused. Robert Hall,
Aye.
Lisa Hayes,
Aye.
John Isaac,
Aye.
Theodore James,
Aye.
Keisha Martin,
Aye.
Lucille Martin,
Lucille Martin.
Lucille Martin,
Lucille Martin.
not present.
Not present.
I'm hearing an echo back. I don't know
I'm
why.
hearing an echo back. I don't know why.
Yeah, we are too.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just me. Clinton Mike,
Aye.
Carmen Ortiz, Carmen. She's still here, right?
Yeah, Carmen, just unmute yourself. You're on mute, so we can't
Just give
hear
a
you.
thumbs up or thumbs down. What's she doing?
Yeah, Carmen, so maybe you could just show a thumbs up or down. Let's see it move. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. She's shaking her head. Thumbs up.
Okay, thank you. Queenie Peniagua,
Aye.
Anthony Reed,
Aye.
Dr. Sherry Samuels,
Aye.
Carl Stricker,
Aye. Aye.
Venga Sabea,
Aye. Venga's here. Aye.
Luke Zabados,
Aye.
Deborah Torado,
Aye.
Deborah Walker,
Aye.
Ryan Walters, not present. Esther Yama, not present. And Beatrice Coronel.
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Benitez. Okay, next up, we have the financial report.
Always lots of fun. Good evening, family. Nice to see everybody, hear everybody, and imagine what everybody looks like.
I just wanted to say everything is the same. We're at 2625 in our Sunshine Fund. The notification will go out in August that will tell you about the upcoming season. So I need everybody to be safe, and I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thank you, Talene. Ursula, do you have anything to share?
No, not at this moment.
Okay, thank you. That concludes the financial report. Now we're heading on to the next portion, which is our committee reports. First up, transportation and capital projects.
Hi, good evening, everyone. The Transportation Committee met on Thursday, May 11th, via WebEx at 7 p.m. And we discussed the co-naming of streets to honor 4 pillars in the District 12 community, which was Miss Annie Mae Calhoun, Miss Celia Brown, Mrs. Emma Miller, and Mr. Earl Moody. Mrs. Annie Mae Calhoun was a nutritionist who was educated and talented to help her Fish Bay community.
Yes.
After retirement, she volunteered and worked with the children in the after-school program at Farrell Enrichment
Some
Center.
chicken.
And the next person, Miss Celia Brown, was a
Because I realize
psychiatrist.
he's coming home hungry.
Someone need to mute themselves. Miss Celia Brown was a psychiatric survivor who was instrumental in developing the first pair specialized civil service title in the country, and she was a pioneer and a global activist for change. And Miss Emma Miller was the president of Boston Seacourt Tenant Association for over 18 years, where she spent decades volunteering to help tenants in these developments resolve issues and obtain better quality of life. And the last person is Mr. Earl Moody. And Mr. Earl Moody had a major impact in not only the Northeast Bronx, but all throughout New York City and the United States and the Caribbean abroad. He
I finally get to see you, huh?
he was a founder of Moody's Records, which was a vinyl retail store open along White Plains Road in the Bronx over 40 years ago. The original store was located at 3976 White Plains Road in the Bronx and became Bronx landmark for people and lovers of reggae music, and cultures have traveled all over the world to visit this store. He opened his store in 1981 and it quickly became the go-to record store in New York for Jamaican and American oldies and classic that were hard to find. Many call it the vinyl collector's gold mine. Moody has become a tourist attraction for people near and far to visit the store. The committee voted to accept the co-naming or make the recommendations to the board that we accept the co-namings of these streets to honor these 4 pillars in the community. So I need a motion to and I guess we also voted on the committee. We also voted on the free bus program.
First, John, so we need to do one item at a time. We need a motion to accept the report.
Actually, Beatrice, we have to hear his whole report, vote on his
Vote on the report.
Yes,
Yeah, I was
and
going.
then we vote on each action.
correct. Sorry.
So, okay, so the committee also talked about the free bus program in New York City. Budget lawmakers included a provisions that pilots a free bus program, which makes one bus route free per borough for a period of 6 to 12 months. The legislation requires MTA to choose which routes to be free within 2 months of the budget being passed. Lou Sabatos recommended the BX8 because the BX8 doesn't share the road with any other buses, so it would fit into the scope of their search. It is also a direct connection to the 2, 5, and 6 train. A motion was made to write a letter to the MTA in support of using the BX8 as our recommendation for the bus route to use for this free bus. This concludes what we talk about and what we need voting action on, Madam Chair.
I make a motion that we accept the report of the Transportation Committee.
Okay, can I ask a question on that? I want to ask a question on that, please.
Okay.
I just wanted to know the name, the renaming of the streets. What specific streets are you naming, and which ones are allocated to the
Okay, for Annie Calhoun, that one, I gotta go back to the original report. I know Mr. Earl Moody was 225th or 226 on White Plains Road, which is a location of the original store. And Miss Emma Miller is supposed to be located at the Boston Secor area where she spends decade volunteering to help the tenants. And Miss Celia Brown, that's another one which I have to go back to the report. I just took excerpts of the person's vita to provide it to the board.
Okay, thank you.
So the motion is still Carl Stricker, and then can we have a second, right?
Second.
Denise Bonds gave a second.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, so now we are going to take a vote on the co-naming.
No, on the minutes.
We take a vote on the minutes.
On the minutes.
Can
I just say one thing?
To take a vote on the committee report.
Can I just say one thing, Beatrice?
Go ahead, Clinton.
Cynthia put the street names in the chat for Anthony so he can see them. The exact streets.
A point of order, just a quick question. Would it be possible to accept, if the board views this as appropriate, accept the report via unanimous consent and then do a roll call vote if appropriate for each of the, or for the co-namings and the bus, instead of having to do a roll call for the report, which might be.
Yes, you can.
As long as no one opposes, right?
Right.
Yes.
I have to make sure about that. Okay, we can do that. Was there anyone? I can see we didn't have any objections to the minutes reports, but is there anyone objecting to the report
Of the committee.
of the committee? Thank you. No objections. Do I have a call for a unanimous?
So moved.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, go on to the next.
Carl, you said something?
Yeah, all in favor to see something.
Aye.
The approval of the street naming, or everything is in one? What just happened? You voted to approve the minutes, right?
All four street names in one, and then the second vote will be on the BX8.
Correct, but just now the unanimous vote was for the minutes?
Yes.
For the minutes.
Okay, thank you.
For the committee report.
The same as the minutes of the committee, right? Correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, John, you want to continue now?
Okay, the next motion that we need is for, which was passed by the committee, was to recommend the BX8 to be used as a free bus.
John, excuse me.
Yes.
We still didn't finish up with the names. We didn't get a vote on the name. We just did.
Okay.
Okay, so go from that.
We need a motion and a vote.
Yeah. Somebody has to make a motion
I make a motion.
to. You have to say the whole thing. Anthony, you have to say the whole,
Anthony, you have to say
the names of the
names of the people.
people that we're putting up for a nomination. Okay?
Can
So
you
you're
come
making a
back with that?
motion to co-name chiefs.
The naming of
names.
the streets.
Right.
All you have to do is make a motion for the co-naming of the four persons involved with the 4 streets. So you make a motion. I'll make the
a
motion if you
to
want.
accept the co-naming of the streets of the 4 individuals.
Correct. That's good. Seconded.
I second it, Carmen Ortiz.
Thank you.
Are there any recusals? Are there any nays? Do we have a unanimous vote on this?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Great. Next item.
BX8.
The BX8. So for the free bus program, our recommendation is to recommend the BX8, have a letter of support for the BX8. So we need a letter of support, and we need the board support of us writing a letter, which I think Luke already has written.
Luke, you want to make the motion so somebody can second?
Sure. Part of me, kind of wants to explain it a little bit because I'm really excited that we've gotten here, but I don't want to take up too much time. This
I was
is
going to ask for a point of discussion as well. I apologize, Luke, but I would like to know what were some of the qualifications and why you all, outside of the connecting factors, which I got, but just thinking about the 30, which and a whole bunch of other ones, I would like to know the qualifications. Thank you.
Sure. So one thing, this occurred with the passage of the New York State budget at the end of April, which designated one free bus route that the MTA would have to choose within 2 months of the New York State budget having been passed. So there's kind of a firm deadline of the end of June for the MTA to decide and implement which bus. So time is kind of the essence. And the MTA president, Jano Lieber, stated that the MTA is looking for routes that don't compete. So a lot of bus routes kind of go along other bus routes for a long time, and the MTA's concern is that if you make one of those buses free, like let's say you make one of the Gun Hill Road buses free, you're going to siphon off revenue from the other bus lines. So in finding bus routes for this pilot, the MTA is looking for bus routes that don't share the road with other buses. And after looking through the bus map, I found the BX8, which has a really unique kind of service pattern. It connects 3 different train lines. It connects Williamsbridge and the East Bronx. There's not so many buses that do this. It also connects a few different priority investment area tiers. So those are areas that the city has identified as needing transit investments. Williamsbridge is one of those areas that's kind of a max priority, and there are like different stages of intensity with those investment priority tiers, and the BX8 connects multiple stages of that. And it's a popular route, and I think we really have a great chance of getting it for the district.
Thank you.
Hi, Beatrice, can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, Luke, is this one free bus per borough?
Yeah, so it's one free bus per borough, and originally, as it was proposed, I think there's an assembly member in Astoria who's kind of pushing this. It was originally proposed as a pilot program that would go for 2 years long, but that was downscaled and it was turned into a pilot program that's only going to go from 6 to 12 months. So this is kind of an opportunity for the MTA to see, hey, what effect does making a bus free have on the area? Does it help, improve ridership? Uh, does it change how people are traveling? Will that bring more, needs for greater bus service? This is something that the other cities like Boston have been piloting in different areas where there's not so much investment in transit, and it's been hugely popular. And so this is only a temporary program, but I think, oh, and also in terms of ridership, we did some research, and in 2019, before the pandemic, the BX8 matched up as 28 out of the 48 bus routes that service the Bronx. So this is not, the biggest contender. This is a middle of the pack kind of bus route that it would be really interesting to see how having a free service like this improves. And one thing also that the MTA identifies is that whenever there are instances of uh, violence or crime on the bus, the majority of those instances are concentrated around the fare collection box. So when you remove the fare collection box, it becomes a real, ask any bus driver and they will tell you that it's the fare collection that creates the most animosity in terms of, ridership and that bus rider. So I think this is something that bus drivers are going to find improves safety for them.
Are the other community boards involved with this as well?
From what I've heard, there hasn't been any other community boards that have, been active in advocating for any bus route. So
Queens,
it's
Queens Loop.
huh?
In Queens, they're into it also.
Yeah, but they're not in the Bronx.
They're in the
Right.
Bronx.
Yeah, Queens is kind of the spearheader for some of this, so they've probably got their bus routes fixed. But I'm like hoping, BX8, let's bring it here, let's do it, let's all champion the BX8, we got it. So let's hope it comes through.
Thank you, Luke.
Make the motion, Luke, so we can second it.
Motion to approve the BX8.
Second.
Second.
Are there any?
Second, can I just get those names?
Yes, it was Lisa Hayes first. And the second, was that you, Carl?
It was Luke and then Lisa Haynes.
Lisa Hayes was first.
No, second.
Oh, second.
Okay.
And the first was who?
Luke.
Thank you.
Luke Zavados.
Is it, let me ask this question, is it a letter of support or?
Yes, letter of support.
Thank you. Okay, may I ask, are there any recusals? Any nays? Do I have a unanimous aye on this letter of support?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you.
Can I make a recommendation when we do the letter that we CC our 2 local council people?
Definitely.
John, did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, great. Okay. Are we ready to move on?
Yes, we are. Thank you. This concludes the transportation report.
Thank you. Thank you all. We're going to move on to the next, which is the executive committee report. The committee proposes a vote to submit an inquiry on sustainability letter addressing the family sanctuary homes and family transitional shelter within our district to all levels of government, such as our city council members, the mayor, the governor, our assembly member, our state senator, and our congressman. This is to address the sanctuary homes that have recently been placed within our district and a transitional shelter for families. These are all family sanctuary homes and transitional shelter. So can I get a motion to accept the committee report? Luke, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I was just wondering if are we going to do a second motion on the supporting the letter
For?
for this? This is a letter that we're sending, right?
Yes.
We already passed it, I think.
You're talking about for what? For the committee, executive committee?
Right, for the letter for the sanctuary?
Yes, yes.
That's already been sent.
First we have to accept the report. Can I get a motion to accept the committee report?
Yeah, this is Robert Hall. I make a motion that we accept the committee report.
Second, John Isaac. Second, John Isaac.
Michelle, you got that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to take a vote for the letter, Hold
on a minute. Let me do the call for accepting your report.
Okay.
Are there any negatives in reference to the report? Am I hearing ayes, a unanimous vote for the report?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, now you can go on.
Okay, that suffices. Okay. Luke, you have your hand raised?
Yes, just I haven't seen the letter. I'm wondering if it advocates for.
We didn't write the letter yet. Right
Okay.
now, we're just taking a vote in support of. We can't write the letter unless everyone is in support.
Okay, I guess then my question would be, my question would be, can we include language that supports the creation of affordable housing so that local residents don't have to compete with new arrivals to the neighborhood? And if we create more affordable housing, that can relieve some of that pressure.
Absolutely. That's part of the sustainability part. Thank you. Okay, so now we are going to,
You have to make a motion and vote on it.
yes. Thank you, Carl. I was headed there. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, can we get a motion?
So moved.
You have to say a little more, John, your motion.
I rise that we write a letter in support of the shelter
Recommendations.
Yeah,
recommendations.
to write a letter to all levels of government
Yes.
inquiring on sustainability.
Yes.
Okay. So John Isaac gave a first. Can we get a second motion?
Yeah, Robert Hall. I second.
To the motion.
Okay.
Second the motion, Victor Brown.
Okay. So Robert Hall gave a second. Thank you, Victor Brown. John Isaac first. Michelle, did you catch that?
And Robert Hall, correct?
Yes. Well, Robert Hall, yeah, was second. Lisa, did you have your hand up?
Yes, ma'am. I have two things. So first, maybe be new business, but just for a point of order, I believe that after a motion is called, that we should hold discussion. I know I love the expedited meetings, but I think sometimes some things need a little bit of clarity. And then I appreciate that respectfully. And then on the backhand of that, Lord, I was asking about, I just lost it. I lost it. I apologize. Thank you.
No, it's okay. Did you have a question about the letter that we want to write?
Oh, yes, I did. And so, because I heard the word support, we're supporting the letter being sent, right? Not necessarily the continuous. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, you're supporting the letter that we want to write on behalf of the board to inquire about these transitional one shelter for families and the other, the sanctuary homes and sustainability. You know, we're going to look at education, how all these other things being supported since we're already oversaturated.
I appreciate that, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Any other questions?
Sorry, one follow-up question. So we're asking for more resources, right? We're not asking to get rid of any, people who have moved in or asylum seekers. We're not like,
No, Luke, we're asking for
got it.
capital to sustain,
Great, thank you.
right? Yeah, that's what really we're asking for. What's being planned? What's the strategy? Those are great questions. Any others before we move ahead? Okay.
Phone
Ms.
question.
Benitez?
Go. Go.
No?
No, go ahead. Continue.
Okay. So we have our motion, so now we're gonna take a vote.
Are there any recusals? Are there any nays? Are we
Excited to announce that we have a slate of candidates that was unanimously approved last night at the nominating committee meeting. I will pull that up. And so I think what the process is here is I'm going to announce who the slate that has been approved by the nominating committee or recommended by the nominating committee is. I think we have to accept that report. And then we open the floor to any nominations for any of the positions, and we'll make sure to give, a lot of time or some, going once, going twice for each role. And if there are any further nominations from the floor tonight, um, then there will be an election that will be held via ballots that you have to submit to the board office before the next full board meeting. So in June. So we're gonna figure that out, as we get to it. First, we'll see, what the status uh, of the election is before we start getting into the details of the ballot. But I'll just announce uh, the slate. It's for chairperson, we have Beatrice Coronel. First vice chair, Clinton Mike. Second vice chair, John Isaac. Corresponding secretary, Judith Benitez. Recording secretary, Michelle Broomfield Armstrong. Treasurer, Tolene Dickerson. So I seek a acceptance from the board for this report. It's the
Make a
slate.
motion, we accept the report of the nominating committee.
I make a motion to accept the report of the nominating committee.
Great. That was made by Carl and seconded by Anthony Reed. Are there any, or sorry, I'm taking somebody's job.
No, you're not. That's okay.
Okay.
Are there any negatives in reference to accepting this report?
No, this is Robert Hall. This is a point of order. Is that Anthony Reed that's making the motion? And
No, it was called Strickland made it first.
okay, and Anthony Reed second. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Any finishing up my thought. Any negatives? Any ayes in favor of the report?
Aye.
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 Wow,
Yeah,
Aye.
this is amazing. Thank you very much. The ayes have it.
Great. So that's the acceptance of the report. Now we move on to opening the floor to nominations. So this is a process that everybody's welcome to participate in. We have not received any nominations for positions beyond what the slate was just announced. So if anybody is very shy, please don't make yourself shy and feel free to put your hat in the ring if you're interested. So, but we'll go first with going once, going twice, going 3 times. Feel free to unmute or raise your hand. I'm not seeing any. And sold. Okay. Moving on to the first vice chair. Nominations from the floor for the position of first vice chair, other than what the nominating committee recommended. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Great. Next position is second vice chair. Are there any nominations from the floor beyond the recommendation of the nominating committee, which is John Isaac, going once, going twice, 3 times? Great. We're moving on to corresponding secretary. And if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to interrupt. Corresponding secretary, any nominations from the floor besides the nomination committee's recommendation of Judith Benitez going once, going twice, going 3 times? Great. Moving on to recording secretary, any nominations from the floor for the position of recording secretary? Besides Michelle Broomfield Armstrong, going once, going twice, seeing none. Great. We're moving on to treasurer. Any recommendations from the floor? I feel like one of these salespersons at an auction. Any recommendations from the floor for the position of treasurer besides the nomination committee pick Toleen Dickerson going once, going twice? I don't see any. So congratulations to the slate, and thank you for your continued leadership. We really look forward to working with you for another year. Thanks so much, everybody.
Okay, the secretary has to cast one vote for the approval.
The secretary, the secretary of the board, will like to cast one vote in regard to the nominating committee's report and selections.
Okay, so the existing board will continue in September because their term ends in June, so the new term starts in September.
Okay.
Sounds good. That concludes my report.
Congratulations to all.
Congratulations, y'all.
Congratulations to everyone.
Congrats.
Well deserved.
Thank you, Luke.
Congrats all.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you for taking the heat for all of us.
Thank you.
We have a lot of work to get accomplished. Looking forward to working with you all.
Thank you.
Right, okay, thank you.
Thank you. So
Luke.
then,
Hey,
that,
Luke, if they need an auctioneer, we'll give them your name.
All right, I'm down.
okay, and so then, any more questions before we conclude?
I just have one statement to make.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a lawsuit against affordable housing, and not against the housing itself, but when a house is built in, say, Community Board 12, 50% of the building is first offered to people who live in Community Board 12. Now, there's a lawsuit by somebody that's trying to eliminate any favoritism for the board that it's put in. They want to be 100% lottery. So we have to make sure, the next housing meeting, Robert, I would ask you to discuss that with your committee and write a letter in opposition of this lawsuit.
Absolutely, sir. No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you for identifying that. Great point. Any other questions before we adjourn?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
If I may.
Go ahead.
At the executive meeting, I had a conversation and I mentioned the fact that I have a building that has no gas since March the 20th.
Correct.
And I mentioned it because we're at the point where Department of Buildings and Con Ed have to get together in order to remedy the situation. And I brought this to, and Mr. Figueroa mentioned the fact that NYCHA does not take care of their buildings. And I agree with that point. There was just an ad in the Post that indicated NYCHA had no money. However, I would like Mr. Figueroa to understand that the New York City Housing Authority has put up $709,000 with regards to this problem, all right, to eliminate it. all right? And the reason they did that is because Gun Hill Houses is considered one of the best housing developments in the city of New York. And I just wanted to make Mr. Figueroa aware of that fact. And I also want to extend an invitation for all of the board members to come to Gun Hill Houses on June the 3rd. And hopefully our chair, Ms. Cornell, will have a time to speak to the residents of Gun Hill. And you can take an overview and see for yourself what Gun Hill is really about. All right?
Only because of you, Bob.
Well, no, one of the reasons it does exist is because I've gotten the assistance from many veteran people, many of which are on this board, like Carla Basati and Carl Stricker. So that being said, I just want to open the door and extend an invitation for everyone on this call to come to Gun Hill June the 3rd between the hours of 11 to 6 p.m. and see for yourself. And Mr. Figueroa, I will get back to you with the information that we're concerned about. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just let me
It
know.
is-
Just send me the DOB job number, and I can look into that for you. I can tell you exactly where the application is in
Okay.
regards to the to the process. All right.
No problem. No problem. I
Thank you.
yield.
And
Can
Mr.
you
Hall?
can you do me a favor? Can you Mr. Hall?
Yes.
If you can take my number down, give me a call so I can speak. I'll find out from our NYCHA liaison actually what's happening
Sure.
and why that building hasn't had gas and what is the status.
Sure. No problem.
Can you see the chat or do you want me
That
to
was
just-
Alina, Mr. Hall.
Alina
Alina
from
from
the
the
mayor's
mayor's office.
Okay. Just put it in the chat. I'll get it.
Alina, if you just email us, Ursula and I will make sure that Mr. Hall gets it.
Okay, so Ursula, if Ursula's still on the call, Ursula, we'll
Yeah,
talk.
I'm here. I'll give it to you tomorrow, and I'll link up with you with the other stuff too.
Thank you so much. All right, you guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
good everyone.
Thank you. And Mr. Hall, I'll definitely be there. I already put it on my calendar.
No
Hopefully other
problem.
board members can join us. Denise, you have a question?
Not a question. I just wanted to invite all on this call to Jamba Gardens. They're having a planting on Saturday, June 10th. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm trying to read the flyer from my phone. Oh, here we go. Saturday, June 10th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. They are going to be planting over 550 pollinator plants that they received. And so all are welcome to join from 12 to 2. They will be dedicating to the planting. And then from 2 to 3, they're going to have some community building that they're going to do. And then someone from SNS Health and Wellness will be doing some juicing in the garden as well. So do come out and support. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other board member?
A point of information on Gun Hill Houses, that gas problem they have. New York One questioned the head of NYCHA, from the federal overseer from NYCHA, and they said they can't seem to find out where the gas problem is, which I believe is very ridiculous. But that's what they told New York One.
Yeah, I heard that too, Carl.
Robert, we have to get them to come to that event.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. No problem.
Okay, anyone else? Denise, is your hand still up or was that from before?
Sorry about that.
Thank you. Any other announcements from our board members? Just a reminder, June is the last month before we go into recess, but there are a lot of things happening in our district. So please make sure you join all of our committee meetings. A lot of matters will be brought up, as well as our full board meeting next month. And that concludes our meeting. We are done, 8:47 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Oh, wait, Ted, you have a question? Ted, we can't hear
Actually,
you.
no,
Okay, there you
no,
go.
I didn't. That's a mistake.
Okay, I'm sorry, Carl. Go ahead.
I so moved that we close the meeting.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, good
On
evening,
second?
all.
No, can I just have the second? Who is the second, please?
Denise Bond.
Thank you.
Wishing all a great evening. Please be safe. See you soon. Have a great one.
Good
Michelle,
night.
thank you.
Congrats again to
Michelle, thank
everyone.
you
Thank you,
for the
madam.
great job you
Thank-
do.
Great.
Yes, good night.
Thank
Good night,
you,
everyone.
everyone.
Good night.
Bye bye, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good
A lot of help.
Change of motion.
Congratulations, everybody. Have a safe weekend.
Congrats.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.